Hello. This week, I want to talk a little bit about storytelling, but specifically storytelling as it relates to your job hunt or career transition or really interviewing anything tied to change and change your career change that you might be going through right now, whether that's because of layoffs or by choice or whatever. So let me tell you two different stories, and then we'll dive into why I think storytelling is important. So, um, you know, I originally, when I got an undergraduate degree in accounting, and then I went to work for a company where I was the assistant controller, and I was bored. So someone said, "Hey, you should learn something about product management," and so I did, and that's how I got into product management. It's a story, I guess. Alternatively, when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. My dad and I talked a lot about what I would do when I was growing up, and he said, "Listen, get a education in something that people will always need." So I got an accounting degree, thinking that that is something that people always need. Someone always has to count your money and make sure you're doing it right. Awesome. So that's what I got a degree in. But it turned out I was like a mediocre accountant at best. I could do the job, but I wasn't great at it because I didn't like the repetitive nature of every month on the same day you did the same thing. And so I could do it, but I wasn't in love with it. As it turned out, I was the assistant controller at a company where we had a financial leakage problem. It was a payments company, and we were missing money was kind of going out the door, and I couldn't tell where it was going. When I would balance the books, I was always missing something, and it was sometimes very, very minute, but I needed to find that money. So I started talking to the engineers, and we started really wrestling with what was the flow of transactions through the system, and where were we dropping dimes, right? Like where was stuff happening? And so we worked together. I asked a lot of questions, and pretty soon the engineers were like, "Why does this accountant always give us feature requests? Why does she keep telling us we need a report to do this? It needs to behave this way. It needs a feature to do that." And so my boss at the time said, "You should look into product management. You're actually really good at this, and the engineers like working with you." And I was like, "I don't know what that is." But I found out and I became a product manager, and the rest is kind of history. I left accounting behind. It's played an important role in my understanding of how money works in a product and being able to really follow the flow of finances. But ultimately, it wasn't the right career for me, but it led to the right thing. All right, which was the more engaging version of that story? Obviously, the second one. So, the thing about storytelling is it's one of the first forms of communication that we do with children, right? We sit them down and we read them a book, or we're driving with them and they ask us a question, so we unpack a story for them. And our goal with doing that is we build cultural understanding, we give them some frame of reference, right? We teach them about communication, we teach them this kind of give and take of someone asks a question, then someone shares something, someone listens. You really encourage curiosity and imagination because you have to kind of close your eyes and imagine, the dragon coming, or whatever's happening in the story. And then we also teach them focus, right? Because in order to be a good listener to stories, you have to be able to focus and follow the thread of what's happening in the story. And we teach them that with repetition, but we also teach them that by sitting down and having and engaging with them in storytelling. So when it comes to thinking about how you are going to transition and talk about yourself and your career, we sometimes start from a place of bare bones facts. This is what I've done, this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do next, this is how I got here, right? But the truth is, what you need to do is be able to envelop that in a story, because it's much more memorable. It's also more meaningful to you. The story is meaningful to you, and that meaning will translate to whoever you're talking to, whoever's interviewing you, coaching you, helping you. So this week I want to talk about some elements of storytelling. We'll start here with kind of the basic concept of story, and then we'll, as the week unfolds, I'll talk a little bit about some details around how you can use storytelling to impact your transition. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.